Okay guys, today we are going to look more closely at cause and effect relationships. We learned a little bit yesterday about cause and effect. I have a little video for us to watch, and after we watch the video we're going to go back to our story and again try to find some cause and effect relationships throughout the story. So cause and effect. What are cause and effect? The cause is why something happened, and the effect is what happens. The cause happens first. Uh-oh. Messed up the video. So the effect is what happened. The cause happens first, but doesn't always come first in the story or in text. So we have to be very careful with that. The cause happens first, but it doesn't always come first when you're reading. So how do we go about finding cause and effect relationships in text? Look for keywords to help you, like because, since, so, if, then, before or after. These words in text can help lead you to finding cause and effect relationships. Okay, here's an example of a cause and effect relationship. Angela was happy because she got to eat cake for dessert. So the event that was the why, the cause here, is she got to eat cake. That happened first. She had to eat the cake before she could be happy. But in the text you see how the effect is actually stated first. And later on in the text we see the cause. So just be mindful of that. But when we read this, we see that the keyword or that clue word because is helping us understand, oh, we have cause and effect going here. Angela was happy because she got to eat cake for dessert. So we understand that why Angela was happy was she got to eat cake for dessert. Here's our why, our cause. What happened as a result of her eating cake for dessert? She was happy. Okay, if we reword that sentence, it's a little easier to see the cause and effect relationship. Angela got to eat cake for dessert, so she was happy. Now maybe it's a little more clear to understand that Angela eating cake for dessert is our why. Okay, that is what happened. What happened as a result was she was happy. That's our effect. So the cause, Angela got to eat cake for dessert, is before the effect in the sentence. It maybe makes it a little easier to identify that relationship. But the cause and effect are still the same. Okay, Buster saw a UFO in the air and then he started screaming. So in this sentence, Buster seeing the UFO is our cause. It's the why. Okay. The effect, what happened as a result, is he started screaming. Okay. But he wouldn't have started screaming if he hadn't seen the UFO. So the seeing the UFO is what caused Buster to scream. So the cause is Buster seeing the UFO. The effect was he started to scream. There's our clue word then. Okay. But if we change the sentence around a little bit, reorder it, it makes the cause and effect relationship a little more difficult to identify. But we still have a clear cause and effect relationship here. Buster started screaming since he saw a UFO in the air. Again, the cause of the screaming is seeing the UFO. So our cause here is he saw a UFO in the air. What effect did that have? What happened as a result? Well, he started to scream. Buster started screaming as our effect. The screaming happened because he saw a UFO in the air. But our clue word since there again helps us to kind of see that cause and effect relationship. The cause is still him seeing the UFO in the air. The effect is he started to scream. Cause and effect are still the same. They just came in a different order. Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of practice, let's go back to our story, the Kamishibai Man, and let's see if we can apply what we just learned about cause and effect relationships to our story. Okay, so I'm going to go to the particular part of the story where it talked about the Kamishibai Man on his way home one night. He was on his way home. Then one night I was going home and saw a crowd of people gathered in front of a shop. They were staring at something called a television. I was curious too, but not for long. It showed moving pictures. They were all jerky and blurry and had no colors at all. It wasn't long after that when television antennas started to spread from the rooftops like weeds in the springtime. And the more they grew, the fewer boys and girls came out to listen to my stories. How could they like those blurry pictures better than my beautiful paintings? So maybe it's not as clear as it was in the video, but we do have a very specific cause and effect relationship here. Before the televisions, the boys and girls loved hearing the Kamishibai Man's story. But we see here that once the TVs were being sold in the stores, the TVs invented this new invention. This story was clearly taking place long ago. This new invention, the television, comes out, and people are curious. They're excited. They want to know more about this television. Not long after the television is invented, people start buying them for their homes. And we know that because it says the television antennas started to sprout from the rooftops like weeds in the springtime. So since people started buying televisions and they had TVs in their home, okay, that's the cause. The cause is people were buying television, watching television in our home. The effect is fewer and fewer boys came out to listen to the Kamishibai Man's story. Okay, why did they stop coming to listen to his stories? Because they were home watching TV instead. So the cause was the invention of the TV. What effect did the TV have? Well, fewer and fewer boys were coming to listen to the stories. So we see a cause and effect relationship here in the story. Okay, people started buying televisions. Fewer and fewer boys and girls came to listen to the stories. Okay, if the television had never been invented, the boys and girls would still be coming to listen to the Kamishibai Man. But because people started buying television, that's the why. Okay, what did this cause to happen? Fewer and fewer children came to listen to his stories. Okay, so now that we've looked at several examples of cause and effect relationships within the story, I want you guys to kind of read through the story on your own and jot down some of your own thoughts about cause and effect relationships. As you read this story today, when you feel like you've found a cause and effect relationship, events from the story that are connected, I want you to jot them down on the graphic organizer you have in front of you. So as you read today, think about the events in the story, okay? Where there are certain events that became causes. They explain why other events in the story happened, okay? Effects in the story are going to be results. They're going to be events that happened in the story as a direct result of previous events or other things happening in the story. So as you read today, I want you thinking, turn on your thinking caps, and think about cause and effect relationships. When you feel like you maybe have found one, I want you to jot down your thinking on this chart. And after reading groups, we will go over our ideas and share out some thoughts we had.